Hello, welcome to Susan the Shed, and today I'm going to show you how to use a basic Janome model 3300, how to thread it up and what all the little different buttons do. So the first thing you want to do is turn it on with this little switch on the side. Once your light comes on, you know your machine's on and it's working. We'll just run through a few things first. This is a flywheel or a balance wheel. Always get into the habit of fetching it towards you rather than backwards. On the top here, we've got a spool winder and we've got two pegs to hold your spools. This is your bobbin winder, these are for your spools. This enables you to do twin needle sewing, so you can thread your needle up twice and have two different spools on there, which is quite fun. We've got threading instructions along the top, which I'll cover in a minute. This is your thread take-up guide. And it's quite important that this guide is at the top position when you start to thread your machine. So if it's disappeared within your machine, always fetch your flywheel and get it to the top position, and then you're ready to thread. This is your tension wheel. So inside here are some tension discs. If we move this, you'll see that 3, 4 and 5 have little squares around them. So if you choose the middle one of that, you're just using a normal tension for a regular everyday sewing thread. This is your stitch selector. We're on A, so if we jump to this, we can see that A is a straight stitch. So if I push it to C, you can see that C is a zigzag. If we want to use any of these red stitches here, we turn this to the SS, and then we can, if we want this one D, we would change that to D. So if we turn that to the black, it gives you that D, and if we turn it to the red, it gives you that D. So there's quite a variety of stitches there. This is your buttonhole, and we would start at 1. No, we wouldn't. We'd start at 1 there. We have it on the buttonhole stitch there, which is a really tight zigzag. We start at 1 there. We do part of your buttonhole, then we go to 2, then we go to 3, and then we go back to 2 or 4. So it adds the side, the bottom, the other side and the top. Really easy. This here is your reverse. You have to press and hold this to make your machine go backwards. It doesn't stay in any position. You've got to press and hold. And then we come to this bit. This is your presser foot. Not to be confused with this thing on the floor, which is a pedal. This is your presser foot. It presses your fabric against these feed dogs, which are these little zigzags underneath. And that's what causes your fabric to go through your machine. So if I pop this in, there's no threading or anything like that. I'm not going to hold it. I'm just going to press the pedal, and you'll see that those feed dogs draw the fabric through the machine. Or the wood, if I wasn't on that stitch. Okay, so that's what that does. This presser foot gets put up and down by a little lever under here, and that's what grips. To take the presser foot off, so if you want to change it to a zipper foot or a buttonhole foot or something like that, there's a little lever at the back, and you just flick it and this comes off. That simple. To get it back on, you have to position that bar under that grabber, fetch the lever down and grab it. Your bottom thread is done on a spool. We wind that up on here and it goes into there, into a bobbin case, which is here. And how we pop that in is we make sure that it's going in a clockwise direction. When you pull it like that, you pop it into the case, double check it's still going clockwise. You put it through this little notch here, and you pull it down to this hole here, and you'll hear a click. And when it's clicked and you pull it and it's still going clockwise, that's in the correct position. Now if I was to tip that out now, it would fall out. But if you hold this little lever open and pop your finger behind it, you can manipulate that and it won't go anywhere. So at this point we take it into the machine. This little spike here sits at the top. There shouldn't be any spinning. It will click into place. Just like that. And that's ready. So we're going to thread the top up. You put your thread on, and it's always done in a backwards N. So go into number 1. Of course, remember that you've got to fetch this up so it's at the top position. we've gone into number 1, we'll go down and round number 2, we'll go back up and round number 3, which is through your take up guide, back down, we'll go around that little spike at the bottom, and then we've got to thread the needle from front to back. See if I can do this. I've got the joy of having an automatic needle threader on the machine that I use every day, so this is going back to basics a little, and we score straight through. Now what we've got to do is we've got to get this bottom thread up to the top, ready to start sewing. So we hold this thread here, we're going to go fishing. I'm going to put my finger on this top thread, and I'm going to use the flywheel to take this thread down, and you'll see it'll come down, it'll come round, and it'll grab this blue thread and bring it back up. So just concentrate on this bit here. Down, round. Can you see the thread coming round now? It's going to grab that blue, and at that point we can pull it up, and there it comes through the top. We pull it through, 2 threads at the top, and that's the machine ready to go. So we can shut that now. We can put the platform back on, and this is this machine ready to go. So we've got an A stitch. It's usually 2.5 is the average. If you take it to 1, it's a really small stitch. If you take it to 4.5, it's quite a large stitch, but 2.5 is a nice average stitch. Put your foot on the pedal and sew. And that was just a little taster into the Janome 3300. It's a nice little machine, does a lot of basic stuff, can do a little bit of fancy stuff as well, but a good machine to start. Hope this was helpful. Feel free to subscribe.